Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ Dhammaṃ Saṅghaṃ Namasami. Today, mealtime, this morning, I went to the Peace Pagoda in Milton Keynes. There was a memorial ceremony for the Reverend Handa Shonin, who was a senior incumbent of the place, and he died in 2007, so 18 years ago. He's a Japanese monk, and so since I came to Amaravati, I had a frequent meeting with him, both ceremonial occasions and also personal connections. And that was August 2007. And when I went there today, and some of the memory came back even more clearly. I never forgot, but it was quite a tragic case. I was in, I can start from here. I was in the Shalkun suite. It's a very special room for elders we have in the Bhikkhu Vihara. And I was recovering from the major surgery I had 10 days or 2 weeks earlier, a bit more. And I was still just managed to walk a few meters, that kind of stage. And Reverend Handa, he came to see me in the Chokun suite, and he brought some very special Japanese kind of edibles. Probably he prepared himself. And also he brought a set of Japanese comic manga. But actually it's not a very entertaining one. It's a kind of well-known one, over 20 volumes, but it was about main theme of social injustice. And he read it when he was younger, in his teens, I think. And that really gave him impact. And that was one of the reasons, possibly, for him to think he wanted to do something for the world. So, having heard my condition, he came to see me and brought this and the books, the manga books, because they are important books for him, so that he kept it for decades. And then he brought, because I couldn't move around, so he thought maybe something I could appreciate. So I really felt his kindness. He was a really man of, in Japanese we would say, otokogi, which means, my cheap translation is like a brotherly, passionate kindness, something like this. So just when he saw someone in need, he wouldn't wait. He just take action. And few days later, we came to know he died. So when he came to see me, of course, he didn't have any problem, no physical problems, anything at all. In fact, he was going to see his mother in Japan, very elderly mother, who was moving her place to another house or something. So Reverend Handa wanted to help her. And I think, just a last minute job, he was mooring the whole field around the Peace Pagoda. If you have been there, the Peace Pagoda is in a very nice location, open field, and then surrounded by the field and grass field in front of the Warren Lake. But also it means that the grass field needs to be looked after quite regularly. It's quite a space, quite area. And so before he was going to travel to Japan, he was doing this mowing. And I don't think anybody particularly saw it, but maybe possibly someone may have seen from the distance, but what we came to realize was he parked the mower, big mower, probably the one similar to the one we have here, or even bigger because it's such a huge place. And he parked this mower on a slope. And this place is not flat around the stupa. It's a kind of, some places have some slopes. So he parked this mower, and possibly he noticed something wrong with the machine, so he went below the machine. And somehow the machine was not properly parked, not properly braked, so it moved on and to run over him. So it's a really tragedy. And so his mother, instead of meeting his son in Japan, who was going to help him, she flew all the way to UK and then attended his son's funeral. So it's really shocked everyone. And the Reverend Handa Shonin was so respected and loved because of his the nature, caring and compassionate, and also very active in helping in anything from physical work to giving assistance, help to human individuals. So that's why even today, this 18 years already, but still they held a memorial, and many came and they shared their stories. Many of them are so moving, and they could have said more, but we had a limited time, so just a smaller version of it. But that really showed how his life was, and also how he was loved and respected. But the situation, how he died or how he was killed, is really shock. I still remember that although I was not necessarily physically very ready to go anywhere else, but I really wanted to go to the funeral. Only about a week later, a funeral took place in a temple, the temple next to the Peace Pagoda. And I still remember the mother, elderly, but she could have been lost in a heavy emotion, but in front of us, just he was so, I can't use the peacefully sitting, but quietly sitting, very clear presence. I was very impressed. But still, many people actually were in heavy emotion, and some of some of the people who came to the ceremony was crying loudly. So that was a really emotion of the day, and that was the case. And then today I went to the memorial, and when I see his portrait photo in the placed in the center of the shrine, he was born the same year as Ajahn Amaro. When he died, 50 years old. So, and then the picture, the portrait photo was very nice one, in robe and clear, gentle smile, how he was. So when I saw it, I had to say the feeling of I do miss him. So maybe as a Buddhist monk, I'm not sure this is the right way to say this, but I couldn't help feeling like that. But also, once more, that, as we say, impermanent nature of the life. I almost like to use the word brutal, how brutal the life can be. He came to help me, and he was going to help his elderly mother. But he was the person to go first. Just immediately after, it's just everything went totally the other way around. And so for me to use the word brutal is not wrong, I feel. But having seen once more how impermanent our life is, of course, it's not about lost in heavy feelings or anything similar, but naturally my mind to reflect on how precious, how it is today, how it is this present moment, how we are now, nothing we can take for granted. Just like one of the reflections, 10 reflections, the days and nights are relentlessly passing, where am I spending the time? And we all know these words, these reflections, but today they have become more alive in my heart. And when we think of, let's say, a samvega, or a sense of urgency, then what we can do, like myself, how I can live life here as a monk at Amaravati. Of course, not of course, but at least maybe unnecessary, unskillful thoughts, kind of complaints, that kind of things, I naturally become a bit more careful about it. I can see meaningless of it, less chance to be lost in it. I'm sure I still continue the same thing. But it's not about I need to do something special or I need to do more, because life at Amaravati, there's a structure, routine, responsibilities, tasks, or interaction with the friends. So life itself, how it is, how the life is externally, cannot be different. But having this the feeling of how I can repeat the word, we can't take nothing we can take for granted. That's feeling, when this is clear, this feeling is clear, actually the attitude or taste of present moment, or how we face the present moment, may be different. That's how I notice. Like this morning at a breakfast meeting, Rinpoche offered a short reflection. The theme was Sati Sampajanya, particularly Sampajanya, and Sampajanya established translation is clear comprehension. But also Rinpoche introduced us the different translation, situational awareness. I found it very useful because I'm not just Amaravati, is Amaravati, so many things we have to cope with and many challenges. So mind can complain, why do we have to do this? The formal practice, we need to more focus on formal practice. That just, mind can think in a way too, but just the word situational awareness, whatever we do, formal practice, yes, but also various responsibilities, tasks, even the meetings, or time with friends, meeting with people. And it's not like about which one is more important, which one is secondary. So that's so when I heard Rinpoche's another translation, situational awareness, the translation to Sampajanya, I think this is something I like to really remember. And even so, when I was listening to Rinpoche's short reflection, yes, okay. And then I went to the ceremony today, and as I explain now, the sense of appreciation or recognizing the significance of every day, how it is, or even the single moment, each moment. So there were situational awareness, Sampajanya. It's not theoretical, or it's not something, okay, maybe, but when I think, just when I reflect on how, what happened to Reverend Handa, or what can happen to us anytime, to any of us. So even, not even, so every task, every moment, the sense of appreciation or natural sense of caring. I hope this is my way of saying caring the moment instead of taking things in a sloppy way, not necessarily intended, but half-minded, absent-minded, or reluctantly, or something like. So when I think of how for each of us, or for me to be at the present moment, and I was thinking, for instance, when we come to this temple, entering this temple, I usually come from the main door, and then I remove my shoes and put in a shoe rack. Sometimes see others how they put the shoes too. And another memory came back. It is Lumpur Smedo's reflection, not really reflection, but a short remark. When I came to Amaravati 2001, Lumpur Smedo hadn't retired yet, but he was slowly retiring from the various administrative side of the monastic responsibilities. Also, teaching-wise, I think earlier years, days of Amaravati, he was more like a proper teacher. He was a mentor, so I believe he needed to explain. He needed to go to various details of the monastic training. But when I came, he was Lumpur already. So when he taught, always theme was just like now, suffering and non-suffering, awareness, consciousness, just direct to the essence of the teaching, not like this detail or what's about training, behavior, even that kind of practical matters. But at least not only once, but once I remember he commented that kind of part of monastic life was about shoes at the entrance of the temple. He mentioned his experience at the nunnery in Korea. In the 90s, he attended the World Fellowship of Buddhism. The gathering was held in South Korea then, and then Lumpur attended. And he was invited to go to one of the nunneries there. And he described how perfectly orderly placed the shoes or footwears of the nuns. Last year, 2 years ago, one Korean nun stayed here, so I had a chance to talk with her. And she said yes, but there's very serious about it. There's very tough training about it. So even putting a footwear in a very tidy way, it's not like a natural thing, but there's a quite vigorous, tough, hard training there. She explained to me. But anyway, Lumpur Smedo said how beautifully, orderly placed the footwears were. And then reminded us how we were doing when we came to the temple. I think those days, many pairs of shoes just left on the floor. Only few people put the shoes onto the shoe rack. So eventually he had to say something. So since then, we changed. So just coming to the temple and then putting shoes in the shoe rack, on the shoe rack. In Japan, entrance to the temple, often you see the sign for Chinese letters, Kyakka Shoko, which means something like paying attention to your feet down there, something like this. It's just a simple reminder. It can be seen as a reminder to put a shoe in a tidy way, not just left in a casual or even sloppy way. But also their teaching is paying attention to what's happening now. very symbolically paying attention to the feet, because we are very capable of full of thinking up here and looking for something best, or criticizing something else, or lost in this and that. But what's happening is now is the time to remove your shoes. Now is the time to take care of your shoes. So really, we have a word down to the earth or grounded. So we know how it is like. But as then Kyakka Shoko, this word is really reminding what is in front of us. Or in our word, what is being here and now. And also, their teaching is pointing at, yes, the coming back to this present moment, and attentive of what's in front of us. That's also, like when you come to the temple, okay, we come to puja, chanting, and then meditation. That's the real stuff. And gate, doors, and putting a shoes, or removing a shoes, it's just something you have to. What I want to say is meditation. And chanting is a real one. And then removing a shoes, going through is not secondary. Or when you come in, okay, meditation is what I want to do, I have to do. Chanting is what I am here for. And disregarding the present moment. This is something we're very capable of it. When we do something, okay, where is the goal? Where is the meaning? When we can do it? How we can be there? Necessary thinking, but if we become totally lost in this, where are we now? Where are we then? So this is a very strong reminder of immediacy of present moment. And if I think of this coming to the temple, it becomes very good reflection too. You see that after the main door, and then when you go up the steps, and then sides of the door we have a Hiri Otapa, Thai portraits, Thai paintings we have. If you do not know, this is a Hiri and Otapa. Devata or deity of Hiri Otapa, but actually it represents the quality Dhamma of Hiri and Otapa. Hiri is, I'm not that good at English translation, but moral shame or conscience. And Otapa is moral fear. So when we remember the law of cause and effect, it means we naturally simply we become very naturally conscious of the outcome of what or how we are now or what we're going to do. Do we want to just mess around our life? Do we, having known the result is painful, either to ourselves or to others, do we really want to do this? So that sense of the English word shame, I don't have a very clear sense of. People may have some difficult feeling around it, but anyway, the sense of ashamed of wrongdoing. The I, Ba, and Thai word makes me more sense, but so the conscience, and then also fear of wrongdoing. Why do we want to do this? Why do I choose to do this? To cause more problems, cause more pains. So that's when we are aware of law of cause and effect. We naturally become more responsible of how we are, what we experience. And like typically when we come to the temple, we may have some contents in our heart, something heavy, something unclear, something we cannot let go, or just a way of bit of excitement, anything. But when you see these two deities or Dhamma of Hiri, Ottappa, we become, at least myself, become more aware of what we have, instead of holding them or taking them so seriously. Become aware of what I have, and hopefully at least put aside, or hopefully letting go, and come to this place, very peaceful home, and really appreciate what present moment means. So just as when I think of how to come to this temple, really signifies how we take care of each moment. And this Hiri Ottappa, Lokapala Dhamma, so it is classified as a Lokapala Dhamma. The Lokapala Dhamma has two of them. Lokapala Dhamma means para is a protection, so the Dhamma to protect the world. World, or all of us are human beings, we have we are not safe. We are not safe in a sense. We have a greed, hatred, delusion. We're capable of doing all unskillful things, but that's why Lokapala Dhamma, the Dhamma to protect the world. I can shift the subject a little bit when we think of the world right now. It's quite probably more than before. It's getting more heavy and difficult, the time of concern. But when I reflect on this word, Lokapala Dhamma, Dhamma that protect the world. So having known our weakness, having known our condition that can be colored by greed, hate, and delusion, what we need to remember, what we need to refer to is this Dhamma of Hiri Ottappa. Do we really want to do this? Is it really the right thing to do? It's not about criticizing others or thinking of anybody else, but it's really about ourselves. When we reflect on this Hiri Ottappa, it's naturally mind goes inward, Opanaika Dhamma, leading inwards. We chant every day. So Dhamma is not about criticizing others or making a judgment externally, or but really, just like if you reflect on law of karma, cause and effect, Hiri Ottappa. So mind, at least myself, naturally comes to myself. It's not, and it feels like I'm in the right place. It's peaceful, and also place of responsibility, or even integrity. So that's why Lokapala Dhamma, the Dhamma to protect the world outside too, but also world that actually comes from our heart too. So how to take care of each moment. I'd like to repeat again, it's not about which moment is important, which moment is less significant. You know. One more thing, again, Rinpoche's meadows. Amaravati, right now I think community is quite harmonious. Yes, in individual levels, challenges continues, but in my experience, in my observation, Amaravati community is in good condition, harmonious, but when I look back, at times there are sometimes challenges in a sense of communal harmony. There are times we had a very, very painful period too. And Rinpoche Meadow then, he taught, yes, he still kept on teaching the most straightforward, essential Dhamma. I was summarizing the consciousness, unconditioned, awakened awareness, and so this is always his theme, and a beautiful reminder, very powerful reminder to us. But also when we are in the middle of the heavy conflict of the community, he also taught about the four requisites. You know, we have a deflection of the four requisites, and like when monks eat together, before we eat, we recite together, Pati Sanka Yoni So Binda Patam Pati Sevami, wisely reflecting I use arms word. It's a very good reminder and reflection. But it's not like if you read it, if you recite it, it's not really something very profound. It's just in a way very basic, in a way very ordinary. But as I said earlier, it's really grounding. And when we were in a heavy and challenging situation of the community, Rinpoche Meadow was taught about four requisites. So instead of for us to be too heated, even to be lost in ideas, opinions, conflict, who is right, what is missing, what is better, and so forth. So we're very familiar with all of this. When situation is reasonable, we have more awareness around it. But when the community was very heavy on this, I have to quite unpleasant time. But Rinpoche taught or reminded us four requisites: robe, food, lodging, and medicine. Again, very ordinary. You can't say anything very profound, but this is what what is available. This is what is in front of us. Just like a pair of shoes when you come to the temple. And this is what we can pay attention. This is what we care. This is what we appreciate for requisites. It's again, it's not nothing we can take for granted. But Rinpoche also said we should remember how we are fortunate. We can be lost in a discussion. This is not right. He is, she is, they are. This is better. That should be. That what is missing. But in fact, this place is so well supported, and the 4 requisites we can't take for granted. But 4 requisites are available. So both in a sense of gratitude and also really down to the earth, each moment, each day, where we are at. So it was also quite necessary reflection for us. I have to say, still when we are really heated in a discussion, even in the emotion, sometimes mind didn't listen to that. And that is actually how our mind can be colored with strong views and emotions and so forth. But today what I want to say is, having attended Reverend Handa's memorial, and so the sense of how precious today is, how precious this moment is, how precious how it is now. And when we practice to learn, when the world is here and now, and in Sampajanya, it's not theoretical, or it's something you have to force ourselves to learn. But when we reflect on how fortunate we are, how priceless, precious every day, each moment is, I think naturally quality or taste of mindfulness or sati sampajanya will be different. And also, important thing is when we say here and now, present moment, Paccuppanna Dhamma, so we need to reflect on our tendency to make a judgment. This is more important, this is trivial, this is a secondary. Again, typical example is I am coming to the temple, sit there. That is a serious one, important one. And then coming to the temple, removing the shoes. This is just a secondary or something I have to do. I don't have to think. Just I come here. This is a real one. Anything else is not that. Is it really a skillful way to spend the time? Is it really what the teaching of here and now means? It is really sampajanya, as Rinpoche said, situational awareness. So the life here at Amaravati, there are many aspects that continues to happen, externally, internally. But instead of thinking, there are too many things, too many activities, too many people, it's not the right place to practice, meditate. But it's really how we see, how we understand. And there are several keywords. Teaching is always available. We can reflect on, we can remember. And to me, just attending the memorial today gave me one more extra taste to the teaching. Okay, thank you very much. I can stop now.
Sa